Hello, and welcome to the Her Money, Her Business podcast. This is a podcast for women starting or growing their own business and features episodes about knowing your finances, improving your money confidence, as well as guest interviews with women just like you as part of the specialty series Everyday Business Heroes. If you wish you were good with money, want to feel more confident managing your money, or want to struggle less while making money, then you're in the right place. And if you're new around here, this podcast is brought to you by my course Money In, Money Out that teaches you the basics of managing the money coming in and out of your business. I'm your host, Sonja Balzarolo, business financials coach, bookkeeper, and champion for women who want to be the master of their own financials. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to episode 36. Today we're talking about building a mindset for financial empowerment. So this is part of April's topic, which is all around cash flow. And managing cash flow and money in general does take a number of things, but one of those things that I definitely want to focus on as part of cash flow in general is your mindset. If you don't have a good mindset for financial empowerment, you're going to constantly come up with barriers that stop you really from being confident managing your money and feeling financially empowered to do that. And so that's what I want to talk about today. Okay, so the first thing I want to touch on is some of those common mindset barriers that relate to money management and financial literacy. So then I also want to give you some practical tips on things that you can do to help build your mindset around managing your money and financial empowerment. So it's really important, and I encourage all women entrepreneurs to do some work on this, to take control of finances and really seek the support that's going to help you build your confidence around managing your money. True financially empowered mindset is really based around positivity, resilience, and a focus on growth and learning. And you'll see that as we start to work through some of those common mindset barriers, and then also the tips that I'm going to give you today to help you start to build your money confidence and your mindset. Okay, so I'm going to talk about 3 common mindset barriers that I see all the time that relate to money management and being confident. So the first one is a lack of financial education. This podcast and my greater business, which is Blossoming Business, is really focused on education, financial education, building financial confidence and literacy for women in business. That's my passion. That's what I focus on. And I love helping women build their financial confidence because I know how crucial it is to building a successful and sustainable business. A lack of financial education is a barrier that women come across all the time. Financial education, unless you've been to TAFE or university or done courses online around financial education, it's not something that we commonly have. It's not necessarily something that's taught in schools. So you come out into the workforce, you start a business, and all of a sudden you need to know all about financials and things. If you don't know what you're doing, or if you've never done financials before, it's going to be a real barrier for you to work through and get past so that you feel confident with your money. So one of the things that may be going through your mind when you think about finances is, I just don't know enough. And if you're constantly telling yourself that, I just don't know enough about financials to get in there and really understand it, I'll just leave that to my bookkeeper, my accountant, my business partner, my husband, whatever that may be, that is certainly a common one. And I really encourage you to do some work around this to change that. You might not know enough now, but you can certainly build on that financial education piece. There's lots of available resources to you now, both free and paid, that will help you build that. It's crucial to building your money confidence is feeling that you know about financials. Okay, so that's number 1, feeling like you don't know enough. Number 2 is a fear of risk. I mentioned this in the last podcast episode where I started talking about cash flow, is a fear of risk is a real thing for women in business. Some women don't have a problem with it, but on the whole, it is known that women have a greater fear of risk and failure than men, and whether that relates to business or life. And so a common thing you might be thinking to yourself when you're stopping yourself from really feeling confident and working on your financials in your business and really getting across that is, what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? What if what I choose to do doesn't work? What then? So that's a real fear of risk. And the only way you can get past that, I believe, is by really giving yourself confidence. Also, reframing failure. What if I fail, but I learn from it? That's a positive. So change it into something positive. Again, relating back to the things that financially empowered mindsets based on positivity is one of them, and resilience. If you fail, so what? It's a learning piece, and you move forward and you build that resilience around, well, it's okay to take risks in my business. It's okay to make financial decisions that might seem risky, but as long as you're using the information that you have and making an informed decision, then risk is good for your business. It's how you move forward and grow. So that is, what if I fail? And the third one that I hear quite a lot for women in business is not feeling confident around making financial decisions. So the thing you might be telling yourself might be, I'm just not used to, I'm just not good at making financial decisions. If you build your knowledge and education around finances, then you can be good at making financial decisions. Financial decisions is really just gathering the facts and having the data and financial information in place to gather the facts and then make a decision. This is a muscle decision making that you can build on and practice and work on and get better and better at. And it also feeds back into that last one of, what if I fail? If you make financial decisions, you may fail. You also may succeed. If you fail, it's something to learn from and not do that thing next time. So making financial decisions is part of being in business, and just staying on the same track and not making any decisions or ignoring things or burying your head in the sand or all those sorts of things that we can do around avoiding making financial decisions, it's not good for your business, and it's also not good for you and your mindset. So we really need to move past that and just have information, understand your financials, and when you've got all that stuff in place, then you can make financial decisions. So they're the three common mindset barriers I see: is I don't know enough, what if I fail, and I'm just not good at making financial decisions. That last one also could be because you've not had to do it in the past. Perhaps you have relied too heavily on your business partner, your husband, your bookkeeper, your accountant to help you make those decisions. Building that financial confidence and mindset is about making those decisions. I just wanted to throw that in there. I forgot to say that as we were talking earlier. So that's the common mindset barriers. So how do we start cultivating and building our mindset of financial empowerment? How do we do that? I want to give you some practical ways to do that. So the first one I want to talk to is how to build your money confidence and set clear goals. So it is important to get past some of these barriers, is obviously building that money confidence. And one of the ways you do that is definitely to set clear goals. So whether that's sitting down and having a budget for your business, looking at what you've done in the last 3 months, how much you're spending regularly, that becomes a bottom line or a budget, and then having some budgeting around, what do you want to make in your business? What have you been making? Can you stretch that and have a goal to increase that a little bit month on month for the rest of the year? Those sorts of things, but having some sort of clear goal there, because then what that does is gives you some wins. So if you don't know what you're aiming for, so you don't have clear financial goals in place, then you don't know when you've hit them. And therefore, you're not giving yourself the opportunity to build your confidence by saying, wow, I set that goal to keep my expenses at this level. I've achieved that in this quarter. I've had a win. I understand my financials and I understand that I am doing a good job in managing my expenses. Or I set myself these financial goals to increase my sales by 5% or $1,000 or whatever you choose that to be. And when you look back at that over the last quarter, let's say, and you've actually achieved that, or even if you haven't, but you've kept it steady, it's a win. And so being able to celebrate those wins does build your confidence. But if you're not giving yourself the opportunity to see those wins because you're just working in your business and you're not giving yourself the opportunity to understand those financials, then you don't give yourself the opportunity to build your money confidence and see those wins that you're doing and you're taking through your business. So part of that is, again, also about going and seeking education and training. It's one thing to set the goals, but you also need to understand what you're looking at and how you can see what you've actually achieved. Doing some education and training, seek that out, whether it's reading books, whether it's doing a free course, doing an online course, those sorts of things. Seek out that training and education, or even just spend some time, for example, if you're on Xero, looking around and getting to know that. Xero has a great training system in place that's free. And so you should definitely look into that and just give you some basic understanding of what is involved in managing your finances online from an accounting and keeping point of view. Those things will absolutely build your confidence around understanding your money. Also, understanding your knowledge gaps is important as well, and then taking small steps to fill those gaps. I do have a tool called the Flip. It is free. You can get that from my website. I'll put the link in the show notes. It's the Bookkeeping Financials That Make Sense download. And in that book, there is the Flip, which is Financial Literacy Improvement Plan. And that helps you just establish where your knowledge gaps are. What do and don't you know about financials? You'll probably surprise yourself if you do that and see what you actually know about your financials in your business, but it will also help you establish some gaps. And so, for example, if you're not really confident understanding what profit is, that gives you the opportunity to go away and look for some education or some training or some books to help further educate you on that. So I'd really encourage you to understand those gaps as well. And then just take some small steps to fill those gaps. Also, just going back to getting some wins in your business to build your confidence. A couple of examples of things that you could do around that would be, if you don't currently have a way of forecasting your cash flow, then that might be an example of something that you want to have a look at. So start a spreadsheet, create a simple forecast to see what money you have in the bank and what bills are coming out and what money is coming in over the coming months, and that give you a basic forecast. And also then just look at that and see if there's any issues coming up and put some plans in place to fix those issues or fill those gaps. So, for example, if you see you've got a big bill coming up in the next couple of months, some money away towards that to lessen the load when it gets there. Or if you've got some gaps around revenue, you might have a client going on a break and you've got a gap in your revenue. Find a way of filling that in advance and replacing that. It gives you a great opportunity to get some wins. Another way of doing that might be to sit down and analyze your bank statements and analyze your outgoings. If you don't currently have a list together, and I talk about this in the Money in, Money Out course, all of these things actually, you can get some help with in the Money in, Money Out course that sponsors this podcast. But you can look at your outgoings. If you don't have a direct debit spreadsheet in place, then you should go through and just have a list of what it is, the amount and the date that it comes out of your bank account so that you can see ahead of time what's coming and going on a daily, weekly basis. And then analyze what is actually outgoing. Do you need all of that? Are there some things you can cancel or downgrade or that you're not using, etc.? That is a quick win for you to help build your money confidence if you're able to sit down and focus some time on reducing those expenses. Or review your pricing, so your incoming money. What is your pricing currently? Have you done a pricing review? Would you increase your incoming simply by changing your pricing and putting your prices up? If you're a service-based business, is your hourly rate reflective of your current level of knowledge and what you offer your clients if you haven't put your prices up in a while? If you're a product-based business, are you making enough profit margin? And we could just be talking about dollars, cents here, depending on your volume, etc. But just reviewing your pricing and then going ahead and putting that pricing in place and bringing in that little bit extra over time that builds up because you've increased your prices, that's a small win for your business, something that can help you build your money confidence. So there's some examples of things that you can help build your money confidence easily and quickly. And also, I'd encourage you to have some financial goals in place to help build that money confidence and see those wins as they're happening. So the second thing I wanted to talk about is just generally taking control of your finances. There is no better way to build your money confidence than being in control of your finances. So use everything available to you to help you build that control. So that is using all the tools available to you. But if you've got Xero, really understanding how that all works and the reports and things you can pull out to give you great data and really take control and understand your financials in your business. Use that to track some financials. So again, going back to goals and things, part of goal setting is then being able to track those financials. So whatever goals you set, put it in your diary so that, let's say, every Friday or the last day of the month or the first day of the month, you go through and have a look at how your financials are tracking to the goals. Have a way of tracking that, whether it's just you go into Xero and pull off a report, or whether you've got a spreadsheet that you plug the info into each week. I really like the idea of manually doing this tracking process, just because the actual steps of going and finding that information and then plugging it in and then being able to instantly compare it to the previous information, that could only take you 10 minutes a week, but it's very powerful in not only building your money confidence and taking control of your finances, but really just seeing what's going on in your business on a regular basis. I would do that weekly if it was me and my business, but that's up to you, depending on time, etc. Number 3 action step that I want to suggest to you is simply to seek support. So whether that is in an online community where you feel comfortable to talk to other people, other women in business, if you've got a community like that, if you've got mentors that you use or business coaches that you use, talk to them about your financials if you're not already. Use those resources around you and seek support. If you have a colleague or a friend that has a similar business to you or that is in business, then use them and their support and talk to them about some of the financial issues you're having. Talk to them about how they build their money confidence, how they understand their finances better, what they track in their business. Have those financial conversations. I know that there is sometimes a stigma, hopefully that it is changing, but there is a stigma that we shouldn't talk about money. I want to just completely dispel this. You have to, as women in business, have support from other women in business and be able to talk about your financials in your business and what's happening and the struggles you're having. It's the same as any other part of your business. Financials is the foundation of your business. If you don't have good financials, at some point you're not going to have a business. And so you really need to be able to talk about this to other people. Now, I'm going to put a caveat on this and say, don't talk to people that don't understand your business. So don't talk to your neighbor or your best friend if they don't understand being a woman in business, if they're, not in that mindset. It's okay that they're not in that mindset. They don't have to be if they're not running a business. But just don't seek advice from those people, or just don't have those conversations. Find people who are on a similar level to you, whether it's the same level or perhaps above, that can really understand what you're going through and just talk it through things, seek advice, etc. So really seek that support. Of course, business financials coaches like myself can definitely talk to you about financials in your business. So if you're looking for that type of support and one-on-one help, then reach out to me. I'll put the coaching link to purchase a session in the show notes. And financial advisors for your business, your accountants, your bookkeepers, all of these people have financial knowledge that you can talk through issues with. Obviously, finding someone that you're comfortable and confident with and who's going to give you good advice, or at least listen and give you some ideas. They're the type of people and support that you need to help you with building a great mindset of financial empowerment in your business and building that money confidence. So that, wrapping up, is episode 36. So we've talked about the common mindset barriers. I really encourage you to focus on building that money mindset and having that feeling of financial empowerment in your business, feeling that positivity, that resilience, and having that focus on growth and learning for yourself. And then I've given you some practical tips around building your money confidence, setting clear goals, seeking out education and training, taking control of those financials, and also seeking support from people that you trust. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode and got lots out of it. I'd love to hear from you if you have. You can reach out to me at sonia@blossomingbusiness.com.au. Otherwise, I will talk to you in the next episode. Bye for now. This episode was brought to you by my mini course, Money In, Money Out. Head over to the website, blossomingbusiness.com.au, for this episode's show notes under podcasts. And if you're ready to stop flying blind and tackle those finances, then sign up and get started on the Money In, Money Out course. So for still being here and being a podcast listener, you can use the discount code MIMO15 and get 15% off the course. So that's MIMO, number 1 and number 5, MIMO15. So you've been listening to the Her Money, Her Business podcast with me, Sonja Balzarolo. If you've enjoyed this episode, please also head over to iTunes and leave us a review. It really does help to get the podcast out to more people, and I love hearing your feedback. So thanks for listening. Here's to knowing your finances and growing your business, because it's your money and your business.